I get it.
That's just my viewpoint, though. But what I'm interested in, the reason why I wanted to contact you today is because I wanted to talk about what's really going on. What's going on? When we looked, when we're seeing these posts from Trump, um, on him, really going after Twitter, which he has the right to do because Twitter's changed their perspective now from from the way that I understand in the simplest form is now that they've opened up and are commentating and are no longer an open platform for people of all different viewpoints to be able to talk openly. They're fact checking. That now puts them in a different placement where they can be sued. Is that true?
That's what they're saying. It strips them of their protective rights. So he's hoping that they'll stop because the only person that they censored so far was Trump. But the thing that the argument is that is technically free campaigning for Joe Biden because they don't hold him to the same standard. Just like if you get something for free, say Biden or Trump stayed somewhere at like a hotel on their campaign thing, they have to declare that because it's not a free thing. You can't just have stayed there without at least filling out the paperwork to say, hey, we stayed at this hotel because they said we could. If they ever give you anything, even if a photographer takes a picture of you on your campaign trail, they have to give you a declared statement for it. Otherwise, you can get in trouble for it. And sometimes people have had to like drop out of elections because of something dumb like that. Like, oh, I received $1,000 worth of photography for my kid's party and I didn't declare it. Usually nailing the stupid shit.
So what's also your viewpoint then, as well as the end of the clock running out on 5/29 for JFK's birthday this Friday? I've been told from one person that the clock's been expanded before. Will the clock be expanded again? That's my question.
I know this guy named Billy, and he said that his clock goes till November.
Okay.
So I'll have him send me a picture of it. Yeah, he said his goes till November, and he said
what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking.
He goes. I don't know why they say it ends on May. He goes, but he had just learned it too, so he probably has a more up to date one.
Okay.
And either that or that was the other thing is that when he was using it, he learned how to use it. We didn't even talk about it on our podcast because it was so accurate with the stuff he was saying that we didn't want to like give it away that we knew about this, and we still don't even understand how he was doing it. But he was posting stuff 6 hours before the QMAP was, and then the QMAP was going. It was pretty crazy, and he was like, I don't know why, but something with stealth bombers today, and then I'm seeing videos on TikTok where stealth bombers and all the Blue Angels and stuff are flying over, doing all the passovers on everybody's shit. It's pretty crazy.
That's amazing. Well,
that was the "We Are Here with You" thing and all that.
Well, it's okay. So it's interesting because we have there's so many different things. There's Jassara Nassara. I've heard some people say that that the president's gonna have to make a decision come July 6th because we have the 120-day period where it takes, I forgot how many weeks or so before it can actually get implemented. 120 days, I believe it is, for different local placements to be able to put into Jassara Nassara. I should say Nassara, not Jassara. Jassara is a global, but we're not figuring global right now. We're just figuring national on a local national level here. So I will reiterate that for just regular Jassara.
I didn't mean to cut you off there, but the more China messes with us, the more I believe that Nassara thing's coming. The more I believe that Trump's just going to be like, take that bill and shove it.
Yeah.
So, and they're fighting with us tooth and nail about everything, and then they're Australia called for that investigation, and they're like, you're gonna pay economically. It's like, why would you even threaten them if you didn't do anything wrong? You know what I mean? Like, at least tell them, like, hey, we're insulted. Go ahead and do your thing. If you're really innocent, then you're gonna obviously come out innocent, right?
Right.
But guilty people act like that,
So my thought originally was that we would be instilling just like what Sanchez Surfing has said none of this will get implemented with Jasara until after the election. So I am assuming after this election and people have voted Trump in, that he would then um, sign Jasara, which would then vote him out as president to allow this to be implemented.
Yeah, I don't know the full details on all that. I just know that it's a reset, and it's everybody that steals money from us now is not getting their check anymore. And I think that's why the world's going crazy right now. I think that's why we're going to start seeing a lot more false flags. That whole thing with, aren't you from where that, or the area, Minneapolis area? Are you anywhere around there?
So yeah, that didn't happen in our state.
Oh, you're
Wisconsin.
Minnesota. Well,
No, I'm in
Wisconsin. That's
Wisconsin.
right.
Yeah, I'm in
That's what it was.
Wisconsin.
Okay, my bad.
We've had our own issues here with
I'll send you a video that I watched today. It's like a 15-minute video, and the guy went through like a whole bunch of gematria with these cops, and all these cops, like two of them already have like bad shoots where they killed a suspect and they barely got out of it because it looked so sketchy. Like it was like a Rodney King type deal. Like they got acquitted, but they shouldn't have.
Do you
You know,
think, and that leads into my next question, do you think that with what happened in Minnesota and Trump being very quick to jump on board to want to,
I think it was a false flag, and I think that's why he's like, yes, let's investigate these officers. Let's
okay,
find out
good,
who they are.
because
You have to watch this video. I'll send it to you. It's
what I
amazing.
am
I'm sending it to you right
thinking,
now.
what I am thinking is going on with that when I saw that and once I understood, yeah, that's just another false flag. Um, Especially with all the satanic numbers from 33rd Street
Oh, you
to
wouldn't, but wait till you. Yes, he died on 38th Street, which is the number for death in Gematria. Then the riots started on 33rd Street,
the
and the
riot started on
guy,
33rd.
yeah, the guy who was in the video on 38th Street with the gas mask and the Antifa sign, he is the guy who set the fires 5 streets down the next day. Same dude. These
Oh,
people are full on actors. And wait till you watch this video. It's going to blow your mind. Like, I was getting
guy
goosebumps.
real who they killed, or was there was questions also
That
in
dude
regards.
is that dude is really close friends with Steven something from the NBA. He's an NBA player, and they used to call it. They actually, I thought they were twins because they look so close alike, and he actually said they call each other twin. But where the hell is it? I gotta find the guy's name here. Let's see. Um,
So they didn't kill him, so he's really alive.
I don't know what the deal with that is. I really don't. I just know that they're all connected to Masons. And then this is the even crazier thing. That video goes into how this guy hired Trayvon Martin and Michael Brown's lawyer.
Hmm.
Trayvon Martin's dad was a high-ranking Mason. There's another guy, Philippe Castillo. He got killed.
Hmm.
His uncle was a high-ranking Mason. And when both of those men did interviews for them, they wore their Masonic gear. Trayvon Martin was buried on 3/3, March 3rd. There was like 30 or 40 fucking things in this video. I couldn't believe it. I was like nervous all day. It blew my mind.
I bought the Zoom account, so
Nice.
so that
Sweet.
we got to worry about Steven anymore. It was $159, but whatever. At least we can
What?
for the whole year. For the whole year.
Oh, nice.
But
Thanks. Yeah, you got to watch those two videos, Anna. One of them, the guy made, and it's like a 12-minute video, and then you could tell he found more stuff, and he made another. So you check those two videos out, and I sent out a message. I want someone to teach me this because I want to make sure that these guys aren't blowing smoke up our asses. But this guy has a lot of followers. He seems legit. He covered a lot of stuff, and even this dude's name. What's his name? Sutton Floyd. Whatever the hell his name is, his name comes out into Gematria to 119. So 9/11. There's a bunch of weird things. And the officer had something with Masonic, and then even the number went to neck, and they were saying like a neck ritual, and he had his knee on his neck, and a bunch of weird
What the
stuff. So
hell? Okay,
yeah, it
so
was.
real quick, so moving off from that, um, I also wanted to ask a few other questions because we always have such good times.
Yep.
Uh, when I come on, I like to just ask and ask. It's like all the things that I've been building up in the last
No, go ahead.
month. Um, So we covered the Q map. We covered that there's been an extension of the Q map in the past, and that we
Yeah, the
probably
clock.
are
Yeah, the
at
clock.
that the clock, the extension of the Q clock, and that it doesn't really perhaps end tomorrow, but that it could also fully extend till the end of his presidency in November, which means more is to come and more is to see, all the good that's gonna come out from all of this.
Yeah, I have two guesses on the extension of the clock. One is it's not planned yet because they don't know what's going to happen. And the second guess is they have it planned, but they don't want to give away too much. Because like when we get impatient with the Q map and we start complaining, every time Q tells us to chill the fuck out and that the posts aren't for us. The posts are for the deep state to see and for us to keep beat. And us to start exposing all the stuff that they're pointing at,
Oh.
So that's how I feel about it. And like whenever we get a Q post, it's to excite us, but it's more to strike fear into them. Be like, hey, this is what's coming out next. This is what's coming out next. Because it's crazy. Like Q will start posting stuff, and then I'll look at my Facebook memories, and it's the same things from a year ago, and it's the 1 year delta of shit. It's crazy. 2 year delta, 3 year delta.
Right.
I've even seen some 4 year things. It's nuts.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
Yep.
So when is the event that you have in Massachusetts? What is that?
That is June 13th on a Saturday, and that is that's a reopen rally. Everywhere around here is really strict with the masks and stuff, and we're calling it Massachusetts. He's got a few people that they want to talk about other things. They want to talk about the HR 666 from Bill Gates, mandatory vaccines. They're putting together. They have a GoFundMe, and they're putting together information packets to pass out, stuff like that. He wants us to write something and speak, but I have trouble speaking in front of a fucking crowd, so I don't know how that's gonna go.
If you write it, I'll read it out.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what goes on.
I'm just saying, I speak in front of people.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
So we'll see how it goes. But I'm excited about it. I'm a little nervous too. Like thing is that like I never want to go to all like the ones in Boston and stuff because I don't want to be that far from home if something crazy does happen. And I'm always shooting my mouth off like if something happens in my area, I'll fucking go. And now we have one, so now we have to go.
Yeah, you have to go now.
It's put up or shut up.
All right, Anna, I called him out on it. I was like, I told him, I go, hey, I got a couple buddies organizing a thing. I go, would you want to cover the story? He goes, what do you mean?
Yeah, so that's what I want to do. I really want to just interview a bunch of people. I'm going to bring a bunch of batteries so I can just keep my phone charged. And just have a good time, hopefully. Hopefully no one messes with us, stuff like that. Should be a good time. Yeah, what is that, too big or something?
Hold on, no, watch. Boop.
That's the link and everything.
That's the link.
I think I just upgraded it too. It should have like another 60 pictures.
Went right to the Dropbox. It's awesome.
Are you able to do this on Facebook as well, or are you just able to do just this?
I can share everything to Facebook.
Yeah, that's how we were doing our podcast this past week. It was pretty awesome. We were tiled in the corner like the Brady Bunch, and people got to see the screen instead of my phone recording my iPad in my hand all over the screen. So it worked out pretty good.
And you didn't worry about anybody. I mean, we had a couple minor hiccups, but we fixed those. We lost the signal a few times, but other than that, we were good. But I don't think unless short of putting a server in the house, I ain't gonna ever get fixed. So.
I'm out now stating that I was just reading an article today. I don't know when the article was originally documented. It's had today's date on it, but it seemed like the information was kind of from a while back. It was in regards to Lady Gaga.
Yeah, how she said how she regrets joining the Illuminati.
Yeah, and how she kind of had sold her soul early on in her career. So there's the timestamp on that was an updated version from today, but the information is still from her documentary that she
How old is that
did.
documentary?
That's a good question. I have to look that one up.
Sweet. I'd like to. And if you have a link, can you send that to me? I'd like to see that.
I'm gonna send it to you right now. I'm gonna send it to you right now.
Yeah, I actually had a good idea for a. I'm gonna write a sci-fi book involving all this shit, and I'm gonna write it from the view of a Disney girl that was like a Disney kid and the Mickey Mouse Club and all that. But I'm gonna talk about it like she's not allowed to talk about it, like she'll get sued.
Yeah. So I just sent it. I just sent it to the
it.
both of you guys.
Thank you.
And even just trying to upload it right now. So it's interesting because at the top on my iPad, I could see that it was from today's date, but it's labeled Lady Gaga, I regret selling my soul to Illuminati dark forces. And there's a picture of her with no makeup on. She looks like she's moving and she's in pain, laying on her bed. But she said it starts with pop star Lady Gaga has spoken openly about her membership of the Illuminati for the first time to say that she regrets joining the secret society. And it's interesting because she's assuming that the painful fibromyalgia that she has is in relation to these dark spirits that have taken over her body. And this is like it would seem, the aftermath of what has happened to her. All this pain that she endures is from these dark entities. So I know that throughout the documentary that she did, they also state that they had to make a lot of edits to this video because the people upstairs, people above, didn't exactly want all this information coming out. So they had to change it before they could put it to print. So I'd love to see the unedited version of this documentary where she fully discloses publicly, privately, however you want to do that, but she tells the truth. We want to know the truth.
Exactly.
Comes down to that.
Can that say Mudvayne data pack or something, and then click here? Just instead of all that, just say Mudvayne data pack. There we go.
So
yeah, that's the thing with their religion is a break off of Aleister Crowley shit. So
he is so dark.
Well, it has parts of Ordo Templi Orientis, and when they do those spirit cooking events, they don't just do that cake thing. They have sex rituals during that, and those couples make the moon children and all that. So
moon children.
Yeah, they make sure that they're conceived on celestial alignings, like pagan holidays and stuff. And then if the kid is born on a special holiday, that's special too. Like it's seen that you're like in the stars. You know what I mean? You're supposed to. You're an omen almost. You know what I mean? My birthday is at the beginning of April, so that's the beginning of the Ishtar thing. My dad was a Freemason, and his is at the end of April. And because of that specific, just one of that reason, he rose through Masons faster because he has a memory like me. And the thing with the Mason book is you level up by remembering it all, reciting it word for word. So every chapter you have to remember, and you have to sit there and you have to be able to bah, 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 bah. And my dad said it would take a month sometimes, but he rose through fast just simply because of that. But back to their thing, they do the moon children, and the idea is after the conception, they still have monthly rituals where they do prayer and little rituals to project. And the idea is to bond the soul of a demon with the soul of a child.
Which is a process.
And they do
it doesn't happen right away.
And they do it even during the birth and stuff. So people, those kids are allegedly lucky enough to get it done when they're young, but people like Gaga and stuff, they go and try to have it done to themselves. And really, I think that I don't even think that they're really even being. I don't even think it gets to a spiritual level. I think these idiots are being fucking hypnotized and thinking that they're got all this stuff going on, and it's cracking their mind in half way easier, MK Ultra style. Instead of having to subject them to shit, you literally, with the thought of suggestion, with the thing of suggestion, you get them to snap their own mind without breaking. And maybe that's why a lot of these guys, their programming doesn't last, because it wasn't done the way that they studied doing it. It wasn't done with a heavy dose of LSD and then fucking violent imagery and then now it's done social justice liberal way, and they're all fucking breaking down.
So it's interesting. So, and I had put up a post today in regards to The View. Now, I know how liberal-minded The View is, especially from, I normally just don't even watch them because they're too difficult to watch, in my opinion. It's too hard. It's too hard.
It's frustrating.
So I found it interesting, though, in the video that I shared on my Facebook page. They're talking about that woman with her dog in the park in New York, and how she was like, did you see this?
Yeah.
And how they were attacking that man who was black.
Yeah,
and
the woman that was walking her dog, Nick, beating the shit out of her dog.
Yeah, oh, yeah. And she's like, I'm going to tell you, I think you'd have gotten shot. She's like, I'm going to call the cops. Tell them you attacked me. I was like,
so what's interesting is The View had a very different viewpoint on it. They were not attacking the black man. They weren't even bringing up much about the dog, like that she's like choking her poor dog to death. Who's then, because I saw the whole video and I'm like, wow. All I could think about was just feeling bad for the dog the entire time. Like I really wasn't paying much attention. I had to reach it again to then the understanding of the other aspect to, this man's actually being attacked. Well, The View was very empathetic. They were very empathetic, and it was really interesting to hear that that there was even one woman on The View saying, and just to also keep in mind, I don't know if you know this, but the woman who did that to the dog, who was doing all this, she was a Obama supporter. She was that's what The View brought up. The View brought this up. And they said, and the woman was like, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because, everybody who's racist or whatever isn't a Trump supporter. That's not true.
She wanted to say that it transcends party lines.
And on top of it, you had Whoopi Goldberg agreeing with it, and then Joy Behar also agreeing with it. And I was like, am I watching this in real time? Am I actually seeing Whoopi Goldberg agreeing that not all Trump supporters are racist, and that Joy Behar is also in agreement? What's going on here?
Yeah, right.
I was like, so what's the agenda? Like, I'm wondering. I'm like, so what's the game plan?
This is them acting like they're holding Democrats accountable, is all it is. They're like, we were critical of him. Yeah, I really do. I don't believe that they.
But it's to an Obama support. It's to an Obama, somebody who's in the pocket of Obama.
They're so untrusted right now that they don't even have enough time to. They can't lie like that. They have to come. I've been saying it for months that if they really wanted a snowball's chance in hell at winning this, that they needed to months ago just like say, hey, we're not running any of these people. Like, we'll come back next election.
Where's their views at? Like, where?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I was telling them.
Did their views go downhill?
Yep. I was like, dude, I guarantee you, if I couldn't win the 2020 for the Democrats, I could win it 2024, and it would just be by dropping out of 2020. Like, we're gonna get you on the next one with someone new, someone not as corrupt. We're gonna try. So we'll see then.
Interesting.
I don't know. They I just can't see them winning without the mail-in votes.
So where do you think we're at right now? When we look at where things are at currently, do you say that we're down to mail-in ballot votings as a major push right now? So there's this big war right now with Twitter to make sure that they're not going to take over, Yeah, I do think like this is where it's come down to this, as well as holding accountability to mainstream media for reporting, or do you think that's not going to happen until the very end? Your thoughts?
I think if they try to do mail-in ballots and then they try to say that Joe Biden won, I don't even want to believe that Joe Biden won the primary.
Hmm.
Never mind wins the election. I know that everyone else feels exactly like me, and there will not be a peaceful transition. I guarantee it. There's no way. Like, this guy can't even fucking talk. Like, he can't get through like 3 minutes without like almost falling to pieces. Like,
Who do you think his VP is going to be?
they said that they this is actually an interesting thing that I noticed, and they started vetting Amy
Oh,
Klobuchar. They started vetting her, and um I don't know if we talked about it the last time. In the Ukraine, there was a false flag in like 2014 that destabilized their government, and it looks like it was arranged by Lindsey Graham and those guys. And there's a picture right before it happened, and Amy Klobuchar's in the video too. So they're all connected. And this is back in 2014. There's no reason why she should have been in Kiev the day before the shooting, but she's in a room with John McCain, Lindsey Graham, and a special forces unit. And then that day there was a shooting, like 100 people got killed or some shit. Big protest, big old thing. So
what's her name again?
Amy Klobuchar.
Okay.
Yeah, she's being vetted. She was running for president and she got out, but she's being vetted right now. But I think it's gonna be Michelle, and I don't know. I think that like they're gonna stroke Biden out.
They're going to go by who?
They're gonna stroke him. I don't know. I think that like they're gonna. I don't know. I just don't
Who
see
was the
him
African American
standing.
woman that everybody thought he was going to pick, but it seemed real obvious that he didn't
Kamala.
pick her? Was it the one with the gappy tooth?
Oh, Stacey Abrams. Yeah. If he picked her, that'd be the biggest joke. She's the one that was
She's got
leaking.
no
Oh no,
experience.
that's Donna Brazil. I'm thinking of.
She has
Oh
no
no, Stacey Abrams.
experience.
Yeah, nothing. Like what is she was like a
And Joe
representative,
Behar
right?
and I heard about this. Joe Behar was pushing, oh, they should have her as his VP, and it's like,
Yeah, no. Nah.
on what planet?
Yeah,
And
she has something to do with Spygate. I forgot what her role is.
I don't know, but she doesn't seem like. So then, who else do you have then?
I don't know, honestly.
It's something to think about in the future, but it's
Yeah,
coming up.
yeah.
We're running out of time.
Actually,
It
that's my
almost feels
thing.
like we
That's
got
my
like
thing
6
is that
months.
I really don't. I don't even think he's gonna fucking run.
Is Warren still being seriously considered as a candidate? I fucking hope.
I don't know. I hadn't even heard anything about that.
I know she
that's
was
the other thing. I assume because they're quiet about it, so maybe that's a bad sign. What were you saying, Dom? Go ahead.
No, it came out. Don't skip over me past.
Yeah, that's fine.
I already like thought about the outcome of that question, and like it's probably like the stupidest answer. So,
yeah, I hope that they don't try like Tulsi Gabbard or something. Well, actually, you know what? That might be a good thing because then it's going to expose to everybody that she was a shill.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know. Either way, she's not in with the main party line. I don't see her.
She's not. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if she does, like, that would go against all her principles, and it would just show that she is shilled out. So I honestly don't think that she's that bad.
Here's another question I have. What are your thoughts on Joe Biden and the muzzle that they put on him so he can't talk?
That was pretty funny. Did you see the rumors about him being a clone were going nuts again?
I saw the ear pictures. I saw the
mask was tight. Like, dude, have you guys?
Well, the ear pictures were really off, though. The ear pictures were really off, but I've heard several times that he had that on as a muzzle.
Yeah, I have big ears, and when I wear a tight mask, my ears do flop forward a little more. So I kind of feel like it was that. And then even before, when they were saying that he was a clone, like you can not have earlobes, or your earlobes can be connected after a facelift. You know?
Yeah,
Interesting.
I was just gonna say that if you look at fucking facelift surgery scars and whatnot, it really looks.
Yeah,
I mean,
really
his
consistent.
face is almost motionless when he speaks. So it's either Botox or it's a facelift.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at
All right,
Joan
here's
Rivers.
my. Go ahead.
But
I was gonna say, I mean, look at Joan Rivers. I mean, people are saying that, oh, she's still alive, and I'm like, no. I mean, she has the. I'm sorry to be coming off. You said facelift. I mean, she holds the world record for the amount of facelifts. I mean, the
a lot of them have them stiff faces.
It's weird, dude. It's like, have you ever all right? So remember, all right, you keep going. I'm sorry.
They look like the people from Escape from LA.
Yeah.
Surgery people. You ever seen that? Bruce Campbell. Is it? Yeah, it's Bruce Campbell. He's got like the big puffy face.
What was that Adam Sandler's movie where he was a plastic surgeon with Jennifer Aniston? I forgot what it was, but like in the very beginning, dude, this guy, he's got like his face is all Botoxed out, and he's like taking a sip of his whiskey, and it's like he's like, I barely feel that, and he's like trying to laugh, like no facial expressions happening. I forgot the name of the movie.
Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston, right?
Yeah.
Just go with it.
Yes, that one. There we go. And that was I thought that part was pretty funny when you said plastic surgery dude or facelift. That's all I thought was that dude's face, and I'm just like in my head.
So that goes into my next question. I have two other questions after that. So celebrities, when do you guys think that celebrities are finally going to be outed for the level of pedophilia? Do you think the children's going to come first, and then this information about adrenochrome and pedophilia, or when do you think that information is going to come out? I did see a photograph of Ellen DeGeneres without her ankle bracelet on. I'm wondering, was this picture photoshopped, or is it real that she doesn't have her ankle bracelet on? Your thoughts?
I actually bought this magazine today, this little thing here. It's National Enquirer. Now, the reason I bought it is I walked by it and I vibed first. Like I only saw the faces and I went by it, and for some reason I had to go back and look at it. Now, this main page has got Robert De Niro, Madonna, Bruce Springsteen, Lady Gaga, Elton John, Barbara Streisand, Tony Bennett, everybody that's on the QAnon hit list, just on the front page. So it's about the hack that just happened at that LA law firm. And all of these celebrities are pissing their fucking pants right now because all of their legal stuff that they've paid millions to keep quiet in non-disclosure agreements and stuff is about to be hacked. And the guy told somebody came in and tried asking for $21 million, but they think that it's not the same person that actually hacked it. They think it's someone who's just trying to get some fucking free Bitcoin and that they can fucking, sneak their way through because they hacked it too. Now, normally I would say,
or no?
I don't know who the actual email hack came from. It didn't say on this, but normally I would say, it's the National Enquirer and stuff, but this is the dude that blackmailed Jeff Bezos. So I'm inclined to believe that his internet people are on this shit. And I read this entire thing, and there wasn't one thing about Bat Boy, nothing. It just talks about all QAnon celebs. Like the next page, Jennifer Aniston, Brad Pitt, Mick Jagger, Kelly Clarkson, Ben Affleck, Lori Loughlin, her husband Massimo, Jennifer Garner. There's a thing here. Mel Gibson got married. More Steve Harvey, Zooey Deschanel, the girl from Modern Family, George Clooney, Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry was on the QAnon hit list for a while. Harry and Meghan are actually staying at his movie studio that he has a big thing in Atlanta, and that movie studio is on McPherson Air Base. Oh, it's an old Army base, and it was Army Central Command, Army Military Command and Army Air Command used to be stationed at this thing. And when it was an air base, it was 430 something acres. Now that he bought it, it's 300 and something acres. And when the government now Obama shut it down in 2011 and said that it was something called GRAB. It's like the something Relocations and Bases Act or something. And it looks like Obama shut this down for him to buy it and to make a movie studio on it. Now he has.
I was wondering about that. I was wondering what was the symbolism behind that.
This thing. I don't even know, but the proposal before Tyler Perry was even in the picture was to refurbish 100 acres into a VA, and I didn't say applied sciences. They said something else like research and development. So 100-acre facility of R&D on an old military base that probably is dug into the bedrock, because Atlanta has a lot of rock and mountain in some areas. So
going back to the question, what's your viewpoint then as far as when the information?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I went way off. Sorry, I went way off on a rant there. Go ahead.
That's okay. What do you think will be first? The children? I've heard that some information will come out about the children probably this weekend in regards to saving a lot of children, actually being able to get photographs. That's through a different channel. I'll send you the link
I'd like to see
afterwards. But I don't know. Like I always say in the beginning, like I'm never 100%.
I was thinking this email was going to be the first thing, and before any charges actually come out, we're going to get the rumors first, like we did on everything else. So I think we're going to get emails, and even if these aren't, I wish they were WikiLeaks emails, because then we would know for sure that we're all set, because WikiLeaks has never had something get debunked. They've literally had 100%. Well, Wikipedia can be changed, but WikiLeaks, like none of their shit, like nobody has ever contested it. They're like, yeah, that's definitely our stuff, you know. So,
oops. So what do you think then about Ellen DeGeneres? Have you seen the photographs of her without her ankle bracelet on? And do you think that maybe that was photoshopped to, kind of change the narrative that anything has actually happened, and to try to debunk what QAnons are really saying, that she really is in lockdown? Or what do you think?
I didn't even see the picture, but if that's, I totally believe that. But I honestly, I don't even think that the ankle bracelet is maybe even a thing. I think maybe we're reading too into it. But the video, did you see the video where she shaved her mom's head?
No.
Look, she shaved her mom's head, and there's a painting in the background by that same artist. Remember that weird art that she had in the back that was a skull in her living room? There's another one in it. It looks like the Statue of Liberty, and it has blood on its hands, blood on its face, and blood on its genitals. And it looks like a little kid drew it. But on the bottom it says RIP Q++. And while that picture's in the background, she shaves her mom's head. She makes it like a joke, like, quarantine, you got to shave it. And she just buzzes her mom's head like in V for Vendetta. Have you ever seen V for Vendetta?
I've never seen the whole video.
Well, Natalie Portman goes again. She does something that pisses the government off, and they bring her to a re-education camp, and they buzz her head like she's going to be a fucking Marine, And it's like a humiliation ritual, and that's what I think that whole thing might have been. But after she did that, the very next day, so it said, rest in peace, Q++, we know Q+ is Trump. The next day in San Francisco, the Fisherman's Wharf catches on fire, and that's Pier 45 in San Francisco. So I don't know if they're just spitting out symbolism everywhere, trying to get something. I don't know. So, but I do know that they are piss scared, and all of this is happening because everything they do is reactionary. The good guys make a move, and then we have to follow them for a minute. Take 10 more.
How long do you think we'll be playing this chess game for? More. Do you think? I've been saying we're going to go till November. The war will end on November 3rd, November 4th, however you want to say it. But that's
wish,
my.
Sorry.
I honestly,
Then the Second World War will start.
I want it to be soon, but last year, my guess was after election. After he wins election is when he doesn't have to worry about nothing, and he can finally just be like, okay, let's try and arrest these motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You know, because even like the whole thing with Flynn, like he didn't go with any of Flynn's cases. Flynn has cases against Obama with stuff that connects them to Iran and all the other shit with the Pizzagate stuff, the flying in hot dogs, and he didn't bring up any of it because those charges on Flynn would have made all that look like crap.
Is Flynn still gagged? Does he still have a gag order? Is that why he can't talk?
I don't know how that works. I assume that there's got to be some grace period that he's not allowed to work for the White House or something for a while. Just like Trey Gowdy. Trey Gowdy came out of nowhere during the impeachment, and everyone was excited because he's a good prosecutor. So naturally, he'd be a good defense guy too, because he can at least help and be like, oh, they're going to try this, this, and this. But they wouldn't even let him help at all because he had just gotten done doing something. And my theory on that is he was working on all those indictments, those secret indictments are talking about, because that's what Gowdy was a prosecutor.
So we're hearing that the military tribunals have already started, have already taken place. We're hearing that in Italy and in other countries, Bill Gates is, in big trouble. We have the Fauci's is
Ukraine just raised high treason charges against their former president, the one that recorded Biden. So that's a good thing.
That is huge.
That shows
because they don't have the time frame that we do.
No, and that was the thing is that when that dude, when Biden had him fire that prosecutor general, that dude recorded the whole thing. We've heard that in the last week, and that dude even said it in the call. He said, we fired him, but there was no reason for us to fire him. Our people are pissed. They voted for him, you know? So he clearly showed that he was being coerced. Now, I've been saying it all week, like, why aren't these people getting pissed about this? This is the same thing. They were about to fucking destroy Flynn, Trump, and Donald Trump Jr. over, no problem. But now you're telling me to vote for Biden, who actually did what you accused the other guy of, and you wanted to kill the other guy of it.
Well, don't you know you have to be black, or you're not black if you don't vote.
That shit is.
There's some really good videos I have watched that have made me laugh so hard.
Oh yeah, I made a TikTok video of that, and it's got like 11,000 views right now.
Good times. It doesn't get old. It just doesn't get old.
No, it was. I just keep watching it over and over.
There's some good ones out there. Some really good ones. Okay, so the children. What's your thoughts then on the children? The underground tunnels. They're getting blown up. I heard that the Vatican had, let me restate that. That Area 51 had about 5,000 earthquakes going on the other day in that area. Your thoughts on that?
I actually saw an article on that too. Actually, I've been playing with that.
A lot of stuff, don't we, guys? Like we cover a lot of stuff.
I've been playing with that notion for a while. That base is a big secret, and like I'm thinking about it. Like they say that, like the Queen of England and like royalty use that thing as like a jump off point, and like sometimes people that are on that base are like, oh, the prince is over there. And like, prince of what? They're like, I don't know, Norway or something. But royalty uses it all the time.
Cloning center, I believe that isn't that one of the locations for the cloning center? Do you think that they have
not only that? It could be
the cloning center?
Could be everything, medical, everything. I think that
I know because there's so many layers. If you look inside of it, wasn't there like 51 levels on the inside of there or more?
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt it.
They had the alien technology down there. They had the children down there. They had the Greys working down there. They had.
I can only imagine what the hell they got going on in that fucking thing.
Yeah.
And
I hope with, here's one
the
thing.
Whole desert area over there used to be an ocean. I can only imagine the caverns that are in that thing that were already there before they dug. You know.
Here's one thing that I really hope that they do, and I hope that they have already done this. So we're just going to cross my fingers and hope that they've already taken care of this. But I really hope that there is a lot of photographic evidence that they took videos of everything before blowing up the domes.
I would like to really see that stuff. Like every time that we like talk about these facilities, all I can think about is the movie Resident Evil 5. And they have the giant like super cities underneath the ice. It's fucking insane.
Nick,
what's up?
Weren't we talking the other day? You were telling me about the completion of the tunnels underneath LA that were getting done
Vegas by Elon Musk. Yep.
That's less than 100 miles between there and Area 51. Do you think there's any possibility there could be a link between the two?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it, dude. And they say that he only made like a small like hyperloop in Vegas, and I don't believe that either. Absolutely not. Elon Musk. He started digging. He has a company called the Boring Company, and he has one of those giant drills, and he digs. And that was the first thing that he did before anything else. Before he even made PayPal, he just digs. So he started in LA, and he did it. He said he was bored and he wanted to fix traffic. So he started digging in LA, and we know all the stories about under the Getty and a million fucking tunnels under there. So he's been digging there. Then all of a sudden, a couple years later, he's like, oh, hey, now I'm in Vegas and I'm digging here and doing this and that. And I don't want to believe that he stopped there at all. I really don't.
Well, why stop if you've actually got the technology to complete that?
Yep. Dude, the machine that he has, dude, that thing fucking, it doesn't even dig. It melts rock and it just like pushes glass out of the way.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane, dude.
Fucking machine from the movie The Core.
Yep.
So with Area 51 and all of the stuff going on over there, it still comes back. Let's talk about the and that. I'm assuming you guys have regards to the new king, King John III, and the new seal that has been put up on the Vatican gates. And also looking at how the Queen of England.
Are you talking about Buckingham Palace or the Vatican?
I'm talking about the new seal that they have, the 7-7 new seal for. They've taken down the old seal, and on the gates there is a lot of talk, a lot of chatter on different platforms talking about the new king and how Trump is just holding the fort financially until everything can get in place. But King John III, yeah, and that the royals that are there were never the true bloodlines.
That's what I've heard too. That's crazy.
And that the real bloodline,
that is,
yeah.
Oh, this is from an article from 1936. It says "New King proclaimed tomorrow," and I'm like, what the fuck?
So I don't know what's going on with all that. I'm still trying to keep updated with that information. I know that I have seen pictures of the royals not in their royal attire, as I've heard is maybe customary.
None of them are wearing that stuff.
They're supposed to be wearing certain gowns, and they're not wearing their crowns. They're not addressing their.
This has been going on since the last visit too. Even when Trump went and walked through the yard with the inspection of the guard, you're always supposed to walk behind the royalty, and the Queen let him walk the princess. Yeah, and he walked the princes like they were dogs. You know.
Shit. Okay, so then it goes back to the history then of Trump as well. I'm going to jump around here a little bit, but with Trump's mother and father being Mary and Joseph, have you heard about this?
Really?
Yeah.
No.
I'm not kidding you. Oh, you guys, I'm going to send you some information.
So what's like a time travel thing?
Well, what's interesting is that
Bible.
Yeah, that book has a lot of relations. The Time Traveler of Barron has a lot of relations. If you've never read that book, I'd strongly suggest maybe take a look at it. But
yeah, Chris has it.
Bam, right there.
My copy.
Oh, in that book, they talk about President Trump's. There's the mother and father of President Trump, and his are both Mary and Joseph, and So I'm like thinking to myself, oh my God, is President Trump Jesus? Is he? I've looked at him as Moses. He's some type of Bible figure. I just haven't been able to put my full. And people have different viewpoints on this that I've spoken to. I was interested in getting your viewpoint on that.
If that's the case, then we're like on the edge of, right?
Yeah, I definitely see that they try to make prophecy come true.
It blasts.
But I see that they try to make it come true, but I don't buy into it too much. I see that it's a real threat and everything, but I don't think that I see that they have a psychological influence on everybody, and I was saying it earlier, like how all that stuff, like Trayvon Martin was buried on the 3rd, the Rodney King riots were on the 3rd, like they've been doing all this stuff in the sequence. And everyone's like, what is it for? And I said, for someone who believes in magic, this feels like power to them. You know what I mean? And honestly,
person a long way.
But and it really does, on such a mass scale. You know what I mean? Like we got fucking So that's what I'm thinking. And they have people so angry right now. They have people so fucking mad right now. It's crazy.
If anything, that's what concerns me the most about all this is, there's a very stark divide right now, and we're reaching the point where people are becoming violent. You guys were touching earlier on the possibility of mail-in ballots come election time, which is really absurd when you think about it, because they're already pushing to open up the economy, tell everybody go back to work, you can go to the beach, you can do this, but we can't have elections because that might be dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
What scares me about the time is that's also already when they're predicting the second wave of COVID to hit. So there's an excuse to clamp back down, and I think we touched on this briefly last weekend, but there's already seeds being planted for election fraud.
Yeah.
People are violently protesting right now just over the lockdown. So what happens come November when we have a contested election? We have a new wave of COVID that's coming in that's supposed to be worse than the first, and everybody's told to go back home again,
Mm-hmm.
Well, we already know that President Trump isn't going
He
to be
said
closing down
no lockdown
anything.
Again.
And so now that leads us to think, when is the information for the 6,000 cures going to come out? Is it going to come out before the election? Or we already have cures. Well, now that's going to debunk that shit from even happening.
I see a big
slowly
event
starting to trickle that
before the
information
election. So maybe I'm hoping we get some arrests before the election instead, but we'll see.
I've been told we're not going to get any arrests because that could actually hurt his chances.
I agree. Which
pisses me off, right? Because but we're patiently waiting. Like we're just like Now
patiently waiting for years.
Nick, and I just sent you guys Twitter. I think you guys are on Twitter, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I sent you guys. I just got this in just now from one of my good friends here. This Twitter just came in. Could this be true? Could this be Project Bluebeam at work? Have we been tricked for so long? If you don't know what Project Bluebeam is, investigate. And there's a short video. Can you upload that or bring that up so we can see it?
I can well, if you want, Nick, you want to start screen sharing?
Yeah, let's see if it works. We might as well. It says only the host can share in this meeting.
Oh, hold on 1 second. I can fix it.
I sent it to you as well.
Let's see if I can fix this first. I want to be able to sell. I want you guys to be able to share too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Video settings. Sharing screen. Profile. Come on, where's video? I'm sorry, guys. You're gonna have to give me a second.
Man, fuck you, Twitter.
Man, how come I don't know how to freaking work this damn thing? No, I'm like,
yeah, the Dom.
Figure it out. Because I'm Dom, right? Would you send it to me on Facebook?
Yeah, I did.
1 second. Okay. So is this what you're referring to, this video here?
Yeah, yeah.
2001. Take a really close, take a look at this rare, super slow motion video of Flight 175 that hit the South World Trade Center tower on 9/11/2001. Take a really close look because there are two impossibilities I'm going to show you here. This video was allegedly shot by Michael Perzacani, a diamond merchant based in Los Angeles, California. The first impossibility is a real airplane couldn't have sliced through a building with a steel facade with reinforced concrete flooring and 47 steel support beams. A jet's wing can't slice through a steel building like a hot knife through butter. But that's the story the news media wants us to believe. And most people are still believing this hoax. But the second impossibility is in plain sight. In fact, I can't believe it took me over 12 years to see. Let me show you a still of this video. I've highlighted a building that's clearly behind the South World Trade Center tower. Yet when we pay close attention to the video, Flight 175's wing should appear in front of the building, not behind it. This is a layering CGI glitch, and this proves that this video, which was seen all over the world, over and over and over again, year after year, is a CGI rendering. Thus, it's not an amateur witness video. It's a fake. And this is one of many, many faked videos put out by the news media. I've turned on the sharing option for this.
I haven't seen good 9/11 sauce in fucking years.
Your blogger website.
I haven't seen something new out of that in years, and I've never seen that. Now I got to go look at all those videos.
Yeah, I'm constantly learning as I go. More and more information. The stimulus proposal and Nancy Pelosi is being sued. What are your thoughts on that?
She's ridiculous.
Her church even kicked her out. Her congregation, they didn't really seem to support her anymore. There's a new stimulus proposal from Forbes magazine, Forbes.com. Just got this from another person. I get things all the time. Like I say, I can't even count but as I get them in, I like to look at them. This is from April 22nd, though, 2020. The stimulus proposal of $2,000 monthly payment plus $1,000 per month until 1 year after the crisis ends. Now, this was updated on May 7th, 2020 to reflect information from the bill. What are your thoughts, guys, on the CARES Act and the next roll of stimulus that we're supposed to possibly get, if we're going to get it?
Might not be a popular opinion, but I'm a taxpayer. In 2008, they gave all that same kind of money to the banks and financial institutions that caused the crash.
I agree. I'd rather it come to us.
I agree. I'd also, to be honest with you, when stuff gets better here, because I think a lot's going to happen between now and September for parents and for families and about schools. I really hope that conversation is really going to move forward. I would like to see in the near future, and this is just my personal opinion, if Donald Trump were ever to see this, or anybody who's connected to him would ever see this, I would really like to see a huge shift with families, single parents, or even parents, wouldn't matter. If they're choosing to homeschool their kids, instead of the schools getting paid that money, I'd like to see that money go back into the pockets of families per child. So that, because right now what I'm getting here in Wisconsin is I get money back. So I haven't gotten any money for unemployment or anything like that. But I have thankfully gotten some money for food share here. To keep me and my 3 children and I afloat. So I'm very thankful for that. Now, what happened was because my children were in Milwaukee public schools, and now that they're not in school right now, they have put back money that the state or that my tax dollars, I guess, were paying for my children to be in school. That money went on my card for food, my food share card. And so it was like I got an extra $187 per child for the month for last month.
That's incredible. That's the kind of government policy that I can get behind, rather than just continue to take those tax dollars and invest them.
Yeah, they're going to bail somebody out. Like, let's bail out people. I'm totally for that. I'm just worried where the money's going to come from. That's all. But, I mean, they're just going to burn it out of thin air anyway, so fuck them. And if we're going to the Sahara, really fuck them.
Yo, look at my screen.
We look at what's going on in Canada right now.
And they're wearing sweaters and gloves.
Oh, wow. Look at that. I can breathe.
Yeah, that's old.
Now, I'm sure you guys already know this, but in Canada, they're forcing people that they're pushing vaccinations. Children can't go back to school unless they get vaccinated there. Now, in Wisconsin, that's not the case. There isn't the force for vaccinations just yet. But I am trying to keep a watch on what the hell is going on with that, because as a mom, if I can choose to keep my kids not in school, can I have the option of being able to
all the tax money?
Yeah, and all that tax money that would have gone, can I get that per child to keep them here then? I would like that, because then that allows me to continue doing homeschooling and still making an income, and we're fine. I don't need to be a millionaire, but we do need to be living above water. And with everything with the schools going on right now, my school where my kids were at, they had COVID-19 at the school, and they had children with COVID-19. They didn't really give a shit, and they didn't tell anybody about that because the mainstream media was downplaying it, saying it was no big deal. Don't think I'm going to put my kids back there, especially with Common Core being pushed, especially with the unnecessary food, especially with the type of teachers that they have that are abusive and verbally abusive. That just isn't where we're at, moving forward.
You have overcrowded classrooms. You have old curriculums.
Right.
And touching back to teachers, not everybody in public education is that concerned with making sure each child in their class gets a quality education. We all, I'm sure, came up through public schools, and we can think back to some teachers we've had that were essentially just sitting in front of us day after day, period after period, reading from a script, which would be the textbook,
Well, I grew up in private schools, but we had the same thing. I went to one of the top private schools here in Wisconsin, and it was extremely, extremely, extremely structured. Every day of every minute was completely orchestrated years ahead of time. So I learned that as an adult. But I would say I'm very thankful for the education that I did have, as great as it was. It definitely got me to where I am today. But now we have the focus of our children, and that's the most important thing.
School system.
Right.
And if you're able to homeschool your children, you should have the option to be able to take those tax credits back as a rebate in order to provide that education. If homeschooling is to be an option, there should be some sort of resources put into ensuring that parents can provide one.
We have the most flexibility here in the state of Wisconsin when it comes to that.
Have returned.
Yeah, we have the most flexibility here in the state of Wisconsin when it comes to being able to homeschool. We don't have the same legislative laws in regards to a very strict standard form of needing to implement, certain curriculum. It doesn't work that way here. It's very open field. You can create any type of curriculum. You don't have to hand in anything to the government. You just have to, have certain coverage of information for your child where they're continuously learning. So with my master's in education, I have created what I think are the fundamentals that my children actually need to learn, and I am getting rid of all the junk that I think needs to be bypassed. And like today, my kids are very young. They're 6, 7, and 8. My son's going to be 9 in a week. And I'm going over the more important things that they've never actually learned yet at their age. And that's knowing mom's phone number, knowing our address, knowing, if they get lost, what they're supposed to do. Just all that kind of
practical
stuff.
Sort of
practical small stuff, but
you can move and use in everyday life, though, and a lot of stuff like that is lacking from public education. And just based on what you're stating for your qualifications, I can tell you pretty confidently that you're more qualified than 90% of all of the people that I had as teachers, K-12.
There's a lot of repetition. I do things very differently with my children.
Mm-hmm.
I do a bunch of different stuff. We've been working on telling the time. So when I look at the curriculum for what a child that's 6 years old needs to know about telling time, like 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, like the o'clocks, I'm grouping all my children to understand all aspects of it by starting, for instance, how to count by fives, 5, 10, 15, 20, get all the way up to 55. But just redoing it again and again and again, just the same way that I remember learning was a lot of repetition. Go in a corner, try and practice it. The problem with the school system is there's so much distraction, and I do realize that. And there's competition on a level that's just distracting. It's not this inner work. And I've noticed such a difference in my children in their self-esteem, that they are now more than ever, just building on that level of confidence. And I'm a tough mom. I'm a very tough mom. But I'm like, you've got this. Like, just say it again, say it again, say it again.
Well, I mean, it's good because that kind of individual focus is really what's lacking in a lot of classrooms. And you mentioned Common Core before.
Oh, God.
The idea behind this is no child left behind. Well, we're leaving about 50% of children behind.
Or more. If we look at the numbers. Yeah, if we look at the numbers, we are doing such a horrible job. My son is special ed. He is the only, I made a mistake. Well, I don't want to say I made a mistake, but I made a choice early on years and years ago, 8 years ago when I first had him. I didn't have the information I do today about vaccines, and I vaccinated him too early a couple times. And then I started to do some research about it. And then I stopped doing it altogether. But, there is so much as a parent already on our shoulders that we've never learned how to be parents in school. So now when we have all of this stuff shut down, not only that, but we have daycare centers shut down now over the whole summer. How is someone like myself supposed to find a job where I could work? I have 3 children and have no one to watch them. If there wasn't a cushion of money here to sit on, I don't know what I would do. And I know that there are people in pretty bad situations. I don't know how I just don't know how they're making it.
Well, I mean, again, that's kind of why I feel the way I do about the CARES Act. They keep talking about opening the economy back up. Well, we're the economy. Everyday people need to be able to feed themselves, support their families, make sure their kids are looked after. So what good is that money doing anywhere else but in our pockets? I understand there's parts that, there are other things that need attention. The small business loans that are going out are really critical right now because it's small businesses that are feeling the biggest crunch here. But beyond that, it's individuals that are really struggling to get out there and actually participate in the economy, you know?
Yeah. It's a lot. So what are your guys' views on the children then and the information about the underground? We never really I never got a full answer from anyone yet as to what your guys' thoughts are. And then after I ask this question, I'm going to have to go at 9:30. So
Okay.
let me know your thoughts.
I was like, it's 10:30. I'm sorry, I forgot.
It's 9:23 here.
Yeah.
Public education.
Look at it. Just remember, you got to wind that clock back.
I know they're down there. I just don't know what the deal is. I really don't.
Do you think that the military tribunals are happening right now?
No, because we would see some of these people would be missing from public life. Yep. And maybe they are. Maybe they like show them and like do a little photo shoot where it looks like they're living at their house and being normal and shit. But I don't think anything happened yet. I think that it's about to happen, and that's why I think they're all melting down. But I hate to change the subject, but we got to watch this video because we were just talking about this whole cop thing being a false flag. Watch this. The guy who was killed and the cop who killed him allegedly are both bouncers at the same nightclub.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the guy who I have a thing that I just sent. I'm going to send it to you, Dom. The cop, the guy in the gas mask who started the fire is a cop, and someone identified him. So I got that too. So we got to watch this. This is definitely a false flag. This is a Masonic false flag.
Maria says the two men worked for her as recently as last year. She says she does not know if Derek Chauvin and George Floyd ever actually spoke to each other. The first time she saw this video, Maya Santamaria says it took her a moment to make the connection.
My friend sent me and said, this is your guy, the guy who used to work for you. And I could say, it's not him. And then they did the close-up. And that's when I said, oh, my God, that's him.
She says now former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin worked security for her at El Nuevo Rodeo for 17 years before she sold the club just months ago.
He sometimes
17 years.
Afraid. 17. He always resorted to pulling out his mace and pepper spraying everybody right away, even when I felt it was unwarranted.
Even more surreal, Santamaria says, is that George Floyd, the man pinned under Chauvin's knee on Monday night, worked for her, too.
I didn't recognize George as one of our security guards because he looked really different lying there like that. And it wasn't until I saw the pictures of him come up, then it snapped. And then one of my employees said, look, Maya, he worked for us.
Both men who worked security for the same club before their final encounter that left one dead and the other at the center of national outrage. But Santamaria says she does not know if they ever really knew each other.
They were working together at the same time. It's just that Chauvin worked outside and the security guards were inside. I thought to myself, what if he could have just said, hey, man, you and I worked together at Maya's place, man. Like, remember me?